In your life, has there ever been a reboot or like a now I don't even know if I call it a reboot. It could be a like anything that started one way and was remade into something else, like a book into a movie or a play into a movie or even like a game into a show that you've had a negative experience with that you absolutely hated.
The Hobbit.
Really?
I hate
I
the
guess
Hobbit movies.
I haven't read it and I haven't seen it. I've only ever seen Lord of the
I
Rings.
read The
But
Hobbit every year.
okay.
I've read it every year since I was 7 years old.
Oh my
I
gosh.
love this book.
Uh-huh.
I think I can recite the first chapter almost by heart. I hate the Hobbit movies so much. And
Okay.
I remember leaving the Battle of Five Armies and turning to my then girlfriend and saying the worst part about that movie is I know I'm going to buy the extended edition.
Uh,
I I just it hurt my soul
uh-huh.
what they did to the Hobbit because the Lord of the Rings movies were so good. And even though they're very different from the books, they stand on their own. And the Hobbit movie sucked.
I
And
haven't seen it. It's on our list of things, so I'm very
no.
interested. Like after we no, I gotta watch it and then we gotta compare notes.
Okay. I'm just telling you,
But
I
why?
can't
So
put
why?
my seal of approval. Why?
Yeah.
Besides,
Is it like just very different from like the book to the movie?
they started relying more on like CG.
Okay.
They also added in some really spoopy like fart jokes in the first movie, I remember. And like instead of just standing on what the book is, they started adding like weird things that even like don't really play well with Lord of the Rings lore.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, they took a book that's, 200 some pages and they extended it over three movies
Right.
because they wanted to make it into this big blockbuster thing. So there's a bunch of pacing issues. And like I just don't think The Hobbit works well as a movie because The Hobbit as a book is like every chapter is meant to be read to your kids one chapter a night. So each little chapter is a little adventure, like almost like
Aw, I did not know that. That's so
and
cute.
and it does have a overarching story that like a through line, but they're just trying to add all this drama and melodrama and stuff, and like the way that they portrayed Thor and Oakenshield was weird, and they tried to like tie it too much into the Rings movies in a way, and I just like I think the audiobook for The Hobbit is shorter than the movies for The Hobbit are.
Huh.
Like it's just bizarre. And
Yeah.
like the third movie is literally a 20-page chapter.
Oh, we.
It doesn't it just
So it
doesn't
just
work.
doesn't translate well.
It's not it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it ruined my childhood.
When did it come out? When did the movie come out?
I was in high school. I remember
okay.
because I was so excited for the first movie that like
And then
my whole like my D&D group and a bunch of other like nerdy kids, we all like just skipped school to go to the mall and wait in line because this is before like you could like reserve your seat at the theaters. We were waiting in line, so we were the first people in the theaters to go see the midnight showing of The Hobbit. And there was like 12 of us and we all went together and we had this whole day. We like and we were so excited. And then we get to the end of the movie. It's like 2:30 in the morning or whatever. And my friends are leaving like, "Oh my god, that was so great." And they're like, "What do you think, Alex?" And I just I'd been silent to that point. I was like, "Guys, it's not a good movie. We had a lot of fun today. It's not a good movie."
Oh no.
And then one by one over the coming weeks, they would come to me and say, I went to the movie again last night. You were right. So I feel great conviction in that
I was gonna
these
say
movies suck ass. And I will stand on business on this that you know what, watch the movies if you feel this need to complete the series. But I'm telling you right now, they're bad movies.
Okay. I'm very curious. It makes me want to go watch it just because I'm interested. But then again, like We got so much TV things going on in our life right now. But also, you brought something up that made me go, wow, what a time of like nowadays you can reserve your seat to go
Yeah.
to the movie theater. And what a wild time of like needing to call to see what time they were like running each movie or like having to actually go to the line and been like, okay, it's 5:20 now. We're going to see 5:25 and making sure that you say the right time so you're not waiting 2 more hours, you know?
Well, and like there wasn't like an app for Cineplex at the time. Like you just like had to go to the theater and check the kiosk to get your
Yep.
tickets.
Yep.
So I remember buying like all the tickets for this group, and it was like $200 worth of tickets because 12 people or whatever. And I couldn't do it online. Like I had to walk to the mall. It was a different time, man.
It is. It's kind of
Different
wild.
time. And like now, for instance, my dad and I went to go see Superman a couple weeks ago. Great movie, awesome movie, best superhero
I've heard really
movie
good things
in
about
a
it.
long time.
Yeah.
You'll like it because there's a good dog and there's a
Oh.
lot of good dog content.
I do love a good dog. So, yeah.
But my dad was like, "Oh, I don't want to go wait. Opening weekend, I don't want to wait in line." I'm like, "Dad, you don't wait in line anymore. You just buy your
just
tickets.
go.
You just reserve your seats."
And you can pick which seats you want. Like, it's not even like, because there was a time where you just bought a ticket
Yeah.
too. Like, we had like this progression of like calling, going to the front and waiting, and then like being able to like buy your ticket and just like
Yeah.
get there early if you want to pick your good seat. And now, like, you've already picked your seat 14 days before you're even going.
And now like the seats at my theater now are all leather and they like recline, and there's like space that if you have to go to the bathroom and you're in the middle of the row, people don't have to stand up and let you through. You can just walk past
Oh,
them 'cause
yeah.
there's so much leg space.
I am a
world.
movie theater hater.
I know you are.
I hate the movie theaters. I think
I
it's
know.
disgusting. If I'm going to go, you have a better chance of getting me to go to the ones with like leather seats. Because I'm like, okay, that can be wiped down. Do I think that they're wiping all those seats down all the time? No. But it's better than not being able to clean those weird like cushion like ones. Like
Sure.
those definitely are not getting any kind of sanitized. At least the leather ones. I could bring like a wet wipe or something, like wipe it down if I really wanted to.
You could.
It's gross.
Or you just wear a sweater.
Yeah, that too. Sometimes, typically, like even in the dead of heat, I will wear pants and a sweater because I don't want to be touching those seats. I've also had like a few bad experiences at like movie theaters where like I need to sit right in the middle. I've sat too far in the back and it was so like loud. I couldn't think straight. Like I was like, this is overbearing to me
Sure.
that it wasn't an enjoyable experience. I remember leaving and being like, oh my God, thank
That happened to
goodness
me.
there's some quiet.
I went to go see Warfare, like the A24 film that came out around the same time as the Minecraft movie this year. And I only know this because I remember at one point during Warfare, it just happened that like a lull in the just nonstop screams of pains and explosions that movie is. There was a little lull, and I just heard, 90 14-year-olds yell, "Chicken jockey!" And I was like, it sounds like the other theater's having a lot more fun because I spent all of Warfare just like clenched,
Chicken
just,
jockey.
just clenched because that movie stressed me the fuck out. I can't. I'm never gonna go to a war movie in the theaters again. I just can't.
I just am like, I would rather wait 2 or 3 weeks for it to just come to my house.
Yeah.
And like realistically, the prices almost like just cancel each other out. It's like, okay, I'm gonna pay $25-$30 for us to go to the movies, or I could pay $25 to rent it or buy it here.
Yeah.
I can pause it when I want, go pee in my own toilet, have my own freaking snacks.
Yeah.
Don't gotta worry about it, you know?
Well, when it comes out, you should watch Superman.
Yeah,
It's
I will.
really good.
Yeah, I want to see Fantastic Four really bad too because I've heard that that's also gotten like incredible freaking ratings.
Yeah, it's good.
And who doesn't want to go see Pedro Pascal?
Apparently, all the people who didn't want to watch the second season of The Last of Us, Lizzie. But anyway,
I will. Here's my take on reboots. Okay, you guys already know how I feel about The Last of Us, so I won't go that way. Mine, I think, actually is Avatar. I think them trying to do was it the live action? The first one it wasn't a show; it was a movie.
like Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure that we're talking about that
Not the
and
blue
not
people.
the weird blue people
Yeah.
with the weird ponytail
I mean, I
sex.
love that movie.
Anyway.
Don't get me wrong, but
Um,
no, The Last Airbender, I hate it. It was so bad. I don't care to see the new one. Stop remaking this freaking TV show. It's perfect the way it is. Don't do it. We've had an episode about this, and because we were talking about like, don't meet your heroes. This is one of those things. Don't remake the freaking show. It's fine the way it is. Just let it lie. It's fine.
sure.
No more. The reason that we're talking about, okay, really quick. I'll be honest, I don't have a lot that's been going on in my life right now.
Well, good for you.
I've been playing Marvel Rivals.
Yeah.
I will say there's a demo. I can't remember which one it was. Finally, one of the ones that I think I talked about the other day. I got an email being like, your wish list from Steam has a demo. And I was like, yes. So that will come soon. But we started Slow Horses. No,
Okay.
you don't know about
No.
Slow Horses?
Is it another weird physics multiplayer game where you beat each other up?
No. Slow Horses is a TV show.
Oh, okay.
No, so we started a TV show called Slow Horses. It's like a action crime kind of show. I don't want to talk about it too much because I know like the seasons are still going, I think. And a lot of people love it. Like it's gotten a good amount of awards or reviews. So we've been watching that. It's been good. Other than that,
That's great.
kind of
I've been crazy busy, but I have been playing a lot of Donkey Kong Bonanza. I think I'm about 3/4 of the way through the game now.
nice.
It's really fun.
Yeah.
I think I like it more than Mario Odyssey.
Oh shit. Okay.
It's the same team that did Mario Odyssey, and I think it's really like in the same. I have a theory it's in the same universe, and they're both like kind of connected.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you played Mario Odyssey, but
I did. Mm-hmm. Yep.
I would compare it to like how Tears of the Kingdom is like Breath of the Wild, but they've changed all the mechanics and it just feels like a completely different game.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. So it's like it feels like it's Mario Odyssey, but instead of playing Mario, you're Donkey Kong, and instead of jumping on things, you're punching everything, and everything in the level is destructible.
Yep.
And it's just delightful.
Yeah.
I love it. It's been hard to put down.
Well, that's good. I have been really not fighting the urge, but I want to take my Switch out and play Zelda so bad, specifically
Do it.
Ocarina of Time.
Do
So
it.
I think I'm gonna. It's sitting back here behind a bunch of like other game stuff that we have, and I think I'll finally pull the trigger and replay it because it's just about that time. Which
I
kind of
played
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I'm moving forward. So if you guys have something to say, I'm.
I was just gonna say I've been playing a bit of Majora's Mask as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh God, that's another one. I want to go through all of them, I think. But I like your shirt. We talked
Thank you.
about this shirt earlier on.
Yeah.
For those of you who are listening, Alex has a frickin' Zelda shirt on.
It's like a Hawaiian shirt, but it's like Wind Waker.
Mm-hmm,
It's a lot of fun.
That game is so underrated. It's
Perhaps.
very. I think it's super underrated. I think it's such a good game, and it doesn't get the recognition that it deserves. So speaking of don't meet your hero situations of like don't make reboots and a whole lot of Zelda, that brings us to today's kind of topic in a topic in a topic in a topic of them making or officially casting the Zelda movie.
Yeah, we just met our heroes. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Two children that I cannot remember their names.
Yeah, neither can I. I will be honest, I was one of the people who would have loved shit. Now I can't remember her name. She looks just like freaking Zelda, and it had this huge thing. And everybody's like, she would have been the perfect Zelda, and I agreed.
So Nintendo cast Benjamin Evan Ainsworth as Link in the Legend of Zelda movie that's slated to roll out to theaters in May 2027, and Bo Bragson in the role of Zelda, and then the person that you are trying to Google. It was Hunter.
Thank you. That's
Hunter Schafer.
Yes, I'm sorry. Hunter Schafer would have made a freaking perfect Zelda. The face shape Zelda has a very like particular look. She's got a very, and I think it's just a very like stereotypical girl anime look, kind of. I don't want to say anime, but anime look,
Sure.
where it's like a very like structured jaw, kind of slim face. But I see Hunter and I'm like, I don't know. I think that would have been great, but we're not all actors and I'm not part of the casting agency, so what do I know?
I think it also comes down to like Hunter's a bit older, and they were definitely, they wanted to cast Link and Zelda to be similar age, and if they want it to be a series, they probably want to cast a little younger than where they want them to be in 3 movies.
True.
And also keep in mind that Link and Zelda in Ocarina of Time are supposed to be 17. And
Okay.
those
I
are
would have
17-year-olds.
guessed. I would have guessed. I did not know that. I actually don't know if I knew that because I would
Yeah.
have guessed like 12. Like, and I know that sounds
No,
ridiculous.
no, no,
like,
no, 17, like adult Link.
Oh, okay. So young Link was
Young
like,
Link is like 7.
Okay,
so
that's
so
okay.
so these kids like are the age of adult Link and Zelda in the Ocarina of Time.
I just, I don't know. Let's talk about first impressions. Like when they first said we're making a Zelda movie, what were your thoughts?
Um, because they announced it before the Mario movie came out.
Yeah, it's
And
been
and
talked about for a while now.
and because it was going to be a Netflix series with, what's his name? Tom Holland was supposed to play Link at one point, was the rumor, and there's been a lot of rumors going around and kind of development hell. A Legend of Zelda movie is something that's been teased, and like, I don't know if you remember the April Fool's thing that IGN did where they made a fake Legend of Zelda trailer like a million years ago. But I don't know if I didn't feel like I needed it. But then after the Mario movie, I'm like, okay, I could be down to clown. It could be fun. I just hope that they find the right tone for it. And I hope, and it kind of this casting makes me hopeful that they're not going to go like the Breath of the Wild route of like they're going to go with a more classical like Ocarina of Time, Legend of Zelda universe, what it looks like, which makes me personally very excited.
I think the only place that I land in all of this is I think I would have rather seen an animated version than a live action.
Perhaps, yeah, I could see like a Studio Ghibli kind of,
More like
but
the Mario thing, or like it just give me like, I don't know.
yeah, I think it just, if they're gonna go the live action route, I'm glad that they're going the way that they are, and it's too early to know anything about the movie yet. It could really suck because like Legend of Zelda is not a game that has like big epic war fights, right? It's one kid against one impossibly large foe usually. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of line, like how dramatic they try to make it be. And yeah, I think it could be fun though. I'm interested to see what cast of characters they put around Link, right? Like, is it Link and Zelda going on a adventure together, kind of like in Spirit Tracks, or are they going to have like a Zora companion and a Goron companion and a Rito or whatever, right? Because you can't just have Link like running around being all silent the whole time. He needs characters to talk to. Are they going to have like a Midna or like a Navi type character?
Yeah. Somebody who talks, or do they ditch it all and Link talks, which will really piss me off. To be
Link's
honest,
going to talk. I'm going to say that right now. Link is going to talk.
I think. See, that's the stuff that bothers me. Is
Just
like
don't watch the movie.
Yeah, no, I know, but no, this is my point though. Is like this is the stuff that irks me through the timelines of things that are getting remade. It's like if you're gonna do a remake, I think
But
you
is
need
it a
to
remake or is it an adaptation, right?
or an
'Cause they've never-
adaptation. Yeah,
right? Because this is, yeah. I just don't know how you would have a movie that like everyone else is talking, but then the protagonist doesn't say a word. And I know there's going to be someone in the comments be like, actually, there was no. Like, if you're making a Hollywood film, people are going to expect some talking,
then I
right?
think you don't make it. but that's just mine.
Sure.
The
I think
more
that's
I
valid.
look at her, I do think she does actually have a quite good like Zelda look. And even him, like I think if they lighten the hair, he does have he's not a bad Link, to be
Wigs are a
honest.
thing, makeup's a thing, and then like everything gets fixed in post, right? Like
Yeah.
I don't know if you watched the new Snow White film with Rachel Zegler, and then like if you
Mm,
haven't, don't.
yeah.
But there was a lot of controversy over her like costume being like very, very bright and like kind of jarring.
Uh-huh.
But that was because they wanted to have like they wanted to have it be bright, so then when in post they'll darken it, and it's easier to do
Mm-hmm.
that than to brighten something.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm imagining that the set pictures are going to have just Link in like a gaudy like yellow wig, and they're gonna tone it down.
Mm-hmm. That's another thing. Yeah, like the whole wig situation. Oh man. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna hold out hope that it turns out good. I just nope. I just like the things the way I like them. I don't like them to be messed with.
Sure.
And that's part of my problem with The Last of Us. Like, I think you guys fucked with too many things and too many important details that messed it up. But I mean, I don't know. I'm hopeful. I liked
I
the Mario
I
movie. I
think
thought it was very cute.
I think why the Mario movie works well and why The Last of Us doesn't work well for fans of the game is like The Last of Us was so cinematic
Mm-hmm.
and was so much about the story. Like people aren't like, "Oh, go play The Last of Us for your stealth shooter." They're like, "No, go play it because the story's incredible,"
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
Similar with like Expedition 33. Um, whereas like Zelda and Mario, some people really like Zelda lore and the story in Zelda, and other people have read other books, um, and can tell that like Mario, like Nintendo games have never been about the story.
Yeah.
So you're able to just craft your own kind of story that plays into some tropes and just like is just constant fan service and jokes. That's why Mario worked well.
Yep.
Zelda, I don't know if they're going to be how well they're going to be able to straddle that line because I think there's just some stuff in live action that's going to be really hard to translate.
Yeah.
What do Gorons look like in live action?
Yeah. He's gonna end up. They're gonna end up looking like the Thing from Fantastic Four.
Yeah. What do Zoras look like? Like is it going to look like
Mhm.
that guy from The Shape of Water? Like
Yeah.
are you going to have bird people? Are you going to have the Deku scrubs? Like I don't know.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
and I know that the bird people are called Rito, but anyway, it's just to the layman, to the people watching the Zelda movie who have not played the games constantly
Mhm.
for the past 30 years. Um, like how do you make it look good and palatable and
Yep.
also enjoyable and also like I don't know, it's I think it could end up like The Hobbit, right? Where they just do weird CG things and the writing kind of sucks and they make mountains out of molehills
Mhm.
and put a dragon in the mountain. Anyway, it. I'm keeping my hopes up, but I respect your apprehension.
Yeah. But again, kind of all of this is kind of rounded out to also we're gonna talk a lot about Zelda today and just kind of like this like kind of breakdown ish situation of Zelda over like the years and just like kind of like the origins and everything. So we're gonna have like this kind of long conversation about Zelda as a whole.
It's good because
Uh,
people have been wanting for us to talk more about Zelda. That's
Okay, so listen, you say that, but if you look at the statistics that I do, okay, and the analytics that I do,
yeah.
our Zelda episode does fantastic still to this day. Number one episode, the rest of them, like the one last week, I don't know what we did wrong, fucking flopped hard. Zelda holding strong. Those numbers keep going, baby. That whole thing is carrying our podcast.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, hey.
Is it like the Zelda tier list one?
I think so. Yeah, I think that one ended up being a kind of a banger for everybody. It was that I think because we have two actually. We have this tier list, and I think we didn't we have another one. It's bad when we've done so many so many episodes that I can't remember everything we've done. But the one that I'm thinking of is actually it's the very first one. That's the one. Actually, okay, so maybe I'm going to eat my words here because it could be just people starting from the beginning. But our Zelda Lego, when we first started talking about how it was getting a
Oh, right.
the Deku Tree was coming.
And now
But
it's
no,
here.
I know for a fact that the Zelda one, I do see that number pop up a lot.
That's
Okay,
great.
so, but starting off kind of strong of something I did not know was the. Okay, do you know how to pronounce his name? The the who made Link and Zelda? Shigeru.
Shigeru Miyamoto?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, can't. That's not something off the top of my head. Did not know that the reason how he came up with Zelda was that he lived like on the outskirts of Japan, like out like, and he used to just go like, he would go exploring, and he was talking about how there's like a mountain that they would climb, and like at the top of
Yeah.
the mountain there was like a small lake, and these are the places that he drew all of this inspiration from Zelda. I had no idea that this was like based off of like a real life like moments of his life,
Yeah.
which
Yes.
is wild.
Yeah, I actually did know this just because I'm currently working on some like Zelda related YouTube stuff that I'm not ready to talk about on the podcast, but yeah, and I think it was also it's also crazy because not only at this point in time is he working on Legend of Zelda, he's also working on Super Mario Brothers.
Yep.
These games are getting developed in tandem.
Yeah, which is also wild. I wish my brain fired like that. I really do.
It's incredible just how much like just important creative stuff came out of this team, right? Because it wasn't just Shigeru Miyamoto who worked on these games. He just gets a lot of the credit. He's kind of the Steve Jobs of Nintendo.
Yep.
But it was all happening around the same time, and they complement each other quite well. And yeah, I think there were obviously some like other games, some RPGs and stuff that inspired the sort of overworld exploration. But it's, the sword combat, the fact that you weren't like going into like menus to like kind of do the RPG battling, but you're actually just swinging your sword. Like that was all fairly novel at the time, and I feel like it was all because this was also a launch title. Not for the Famicom, but like the Famicom disk system that allowed for like saving. And it was a great game to also show that, right? Because the story was long enough that it takes many, many hours to beat the Legend of Zelda NES without a guide, right?
Yep.
With a guide, it's about an hour and a half. But still, it's really cool. I think that the humble beginnings of this franchise was pretty neat.
It also makes me wish like I had like I was thinking when I was reading about it, I was like thinking back to like my childhood and what it looked like, and like if I had to turn that into a game, what would it be? And I was like, gosh, nowhere near as cool as that of like having mine. I don't know. I rode a Razor scooter 99% of my childhood.
Wow.
So I mean, I guess we're
hanging out in the suburbs. Earthbound fans are in shambles right now, Lizzie.
I mean, listen, that's quite literally. I'm like, I'm trying so hard. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. We were out in the woods a lot, and like we built like tree houses and everything. But I think maybe I don't have that artistic mind to like pull these like amazing ideas and put them on paper into something beautiful like that.
If my childhood was turned into a video game, it would be chase a basketball down a hill. And then you go get the basketball and you dribble it back up the hill and you shoot a couple times and then you miss and the ball rolls back down, mirroring the Greek myth of Sisyphus. And that would be the whole game, because I feel like when I was a kid, we lived at the top of a hill, and every time I'd miss a shot on my basketball net, it would then hit, like bounce off the rim and go down my driveway, down the hill, and hit our neighbor's like garage door. He hated us.
It's
But
kind of like a. Have you ever seen sometimes online? I'll see those like random things that give you the ick, or random things that are really really embarrassing. And one of them is chasing a fucking bouncy ball around your house.
yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
like,
So,
yep, trying to fucking chase that thing. You're like, is absolutely horrible.
so I
Makes you
ran a
look like
lot
a
of hills.
dingus. But I mean, hey, now you're a runner. All makes sense.
It all makes sense.
Comes back around. And just kind of like speaking of like origins of like how Zelda came as origins, how kind of quickly too, because this is not much about like Zelda as a whole. How did you get into the Zelda universe? Because mine was through my mom. I watched my mom play, and so then I just naturally picked it up. Was it just because it was a quote unquote buzzword as a kid, or
No.
did you pick it up somewhere
Um,
else?
I I think my earliest memory of playing The Legend of Zelda was at the McDonald's.
Oh,
There was an N64 kiosk and they had Ocarina of Time. And I remember going to that and then my brother and I renting the Ocarina of Time from Blockbuster after like we left McDonald's and then went to Blockbuster to rent it. And then we played it in like a week and played it all the way through. And that was my origin with Zelda. That was how it
I did
started.
not know that. That's so funny.
Yeah,
That is kind of incredible. So like if we like move forward of like into like Zelda lore a bit,
sure.
because I mean we go from like this like really pixelated idea to because I'll be honest though also what is like the first quote unquote like is it just the Legend of Zelda? It's like the real pixelated one.
The Legend of Zelda on the NES in
Yeah.
1985. Yeah.
I'll be honest, I've never played that one. So you see this like
Shame.
I know, I'm a fake Zelda fan. We go from very pixelated to like then all of a sudden you have this like 3D moment
Well,
when it
there's two
comes.
games in between there, right? Because there's Zelda 2 on the NES,
Yeah.
and then there's A Link to the Past. And everyone knows Ocarina of Time is just a 3D version of A Link to the Past, and I stand on that business.
Um yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
anyway, continue. You got the 3D.
we see this kind of major jump to like being like 3D, which I wish I was part of that world. Like I love that we got to be part of the world of like 3D kind of like I don't know. I as much as like Ocarina of Time was like linear, I
Mhm.
tell people at the time like it is linear with like this very interesting like open world feel almost because you do have this ability to run around.
You can also do the dungeons out of order.
Yeah.
Like you can do the water temple before the fire temple. I believe you can also do the shadow temple out of order. I think the only thing you need to do to beat the to unlock the shadow temple, I think, is beat the water temple.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Yeah, because I think
yeah,
you don't need the boots because you get the thing ends up draining, doesn't it? Is that how you get down there?
to the bottom of the well.
Uh-huh.
You play the Song of Storms
Yeah.
in
And then it
the
drains.
and it drains, and then you go get the Lens of Truth. And then you become an adult, and you're yeah.
I never thought about that. I don't think I've never ever played it out of the typical order that I do, which would
Yeah,
be so weird to me.
Yeah, you can. You should look it up. Maybe when you go back to the Switch, you try
Uh-huh.
playing it in a different order just to like see what it's like.
Yeah, yeah. So as much as I tell people like it's pretty linear story for something so early on, it was kind of like a pretty decent like quote unquote like open world ish like game. Because you do have this like ability to go different places and do different things. You don't have to do it so like particularly. But I do wish I had experienced like that really magical time of like going from like pixelated to like 3D and how
Yeah.
like how we got to experience like this more like linear story to like Tears of the Kingdom being like open world.
Sure. Yeah. I think there's always been like a sense of like open world adventure and exploration, right? Like even in the like Zelda for the NES, you can just walk into dungeons and not realize you're in the wrong dungeon and you're like way underprepared, right? Because unless you see in the top corner that it says like, oh, this is level 3 or whatever, you can just walk into level 3 and try to do it.
Yeah.
And some dungeons require progression to like certain item like other dungeon items, but like you don't know that as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, but obviously the open air style that started Breath of the Wild is very different. But like Wind Waker, the great sea feels very open.
Uh-huh.
Twilight Princess's massive world, at a certain point, once you've cleared all the, the shadows out of it, um, feels quite open.
I remember playing Wind Waker and being like, how far can I actually take this boat? Like, I remember thinking that map, and I mean, realistically, looking back, that map was rather large.
Yeah.
But I remember being like, this is crazy. This is huge,
Sure.
kind of thing. And now thinking of like, Tears of the Kingdom, and like walking from one side of that map to the other takes a hot minute, I think another thing that I'll never forget for Wind Waker that was really interesting to kind of like watch the shift happen was, and I think I've talked about this a lot because it's just something that stuck in my mind as a kid, was the big, because like Navi in Ocarina of Time kind of was like you're like, hey, listen, go here, and that was kind of like your help built in. And I remember when they talked about Wind Waker, and it was Link's eyes, and if you let him stand still for too long, his eyes would dart to what it was you were supposed to be going to. And that was like such a big thing of like, pay attention to Link's eyes, he'll give you clues to where you're supposed to be going.
Really? I didn't know that.
And so I remember when they started talking about it and it being like a big thing of like, you have like kind of this different sense of help of like it giving, not like a Midna or somebody giving you clues, but like the game itself, like trying to clue you in into like which way you're supposed to be going or what you're supposed to be doing.
That is very cool. And I up until Donkey Kong Bonanza, I was like, I hope they never have companion characters in Zelda again. And after Pauline in Donkey Kong Bonanza, I'm actually like, you know what? Maybe it would work now.
The evolution of companions in Zelda was probably one of my favorite things, which we've talked about this before, because didn't we talk about we've talked about worst and best companions, haven't we?
I don't know.
I think we might have like in a very brief moment mentioned maybe. Like,
we've definitely talked about the companions before.
Yeah, like I was a big fan of Navi. Were you?
Yeah. No. Still not.
I loved her. Big fan of Navi, and then who else did we have from there? I guess
if you're Tattle.
Yeah,
you had technically like the boat, the Red Lions.
Well, I guess in that one you kind of almost had like two in that one, because you had the King of Red Lions who helped.
Yeah.
But as you progress in the story, you get who is Zelda before you found out she's Zelda? It's the pirate princess Tetra. For a while, you also have Tetra in your little necklace thing, and you guys are connected, and you guys can talk. So you kind of have two in that one.
Yeah, and then in Phantom Hourglass, you had Linebeck, who might be the best companion. And then you had Zelda in Spirit Tracks.
Yep.
And then you had Eslo in Minish Cap. And we're definitely going out of order here.
That's how as I was saying them, I was like, there's a few that I know I'm missing on either side.
And like Midna, you had.
And then really.
And then Fi.
Yeah, Fi
ruined it.
Fucking horrible. Yep, absolutely horrible. Then you get to like Breath of the Wild, and you don't really get one.
No, you don't get one in Breath of the Wild. You don't really get one in Tears of the Kingdom.
I mean, Tears of the Kingdom, you could argue that you do, because you get all those like spirit versions of them, but they don't help. It's just like a more of like an ability, less of like a guidance. But again, I guess that kind of plays into it being a more like open world, do how you will kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, having somebody being like, go do this kind of defeats the purpose of an open world.
For sure.
Play how you like situation. And another interesting thing, because I know me and you have talked about this of your frustration, maybe not, I don't know if I call it frustration, but the difference of how in Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, you kind of see the fallout of dungeons.
Yeah.
And that's another big like movement.
Yeah, and even the dungeons in A Link Between Worlds was not great. Now, I know we don't let you, Echoes of Wisdom, I thought did have some decent dungeons, but again,
I did like those. Yeah,
I miss items opening up the world to you and getting, expanding it as you go, right? Like you go into a dungeon, I now have the hook shot and I can do 12 new things on the overworld, what
Yeah.
have you, right?
Yep.
And I miss that. I miss that dearly.
Yeah.
But yeah, the overall, like, I think the dungeons in Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, because from Link to the Past up until then, you had this sort of formula, right? Where you were going into dungeons, finding the dungeon item, beating the boss, and then it was unlocking more of the world for you.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, you can't really do that.
Yeah.
And Echoes of Wisdom, they have the echoes, and they're that's kind of like progression, but there's 6 echoes that matter in that game,
Mm-hmm.
and the rest of them don't. So it's just different, and I
Yeah.
miss it.
I don't know if they would ever be like, I'd be curious to see if they could ever go backwards. Like, I wonder if now, like, has open world in Zelda now set the tone for the rest of them, or is
Yeah.
there possibility to go backwards now?
Well, one thing that I'm very interested in, and this is gonna wrap way back to earlier this episode. There's been heavy hints and rumors from Nintendo for the past year and a half, 2 years, that they are doing some sort of remake for Ocarina of Time.
Really?
Yeah, it's the hot thing on the rumor mill. Now, if that's actually going to happen, up for debate. But from everything I've been seeing from these sort of Nintendo rumor mill YouTube stuff, it looks like it might happen on Switch too. And I'm going to be very interested if they do a proper remake. Are they going to keep the formula and the progression, or are they going to try to like merge some of the new design mentality of Nintendo of like, we're not going to make any sort of very linear puzzles for you. We're not going to force you to go in a certain order, right? And how would that fuck with Ocarina of Time? Are they going to make an open air Ocarina of Time? I don't fucking know. But it seems like it's going to be a pretty big overhaul, and it might be more than just graphics.
Interesting. That I would love that, because I'm not super opposed to like remakes like that. Like, give me a good reboot HD, whatever that I could play. But I'd be curious to see if they do try to like do some kind of like situational crossover, as you said. So that, I think a lot of what we just talked about was like a lot about like the formula and like how we've seen it, talking kind of more of like I guess that was, or more or less like that was some things that changed going into like some things that we've like seen like kind of stay the same in Zelda. Would also be another thing that's like very interested to see, like, do they carry over in like the show or like other games of like, I think something in the show, like kind of like we talked about earlier, is like the age gap situation. Like, are they going to do something where he does grow up, or is that going to be a whole separate season? Will they ever go back to him growing up?
Is it a show or is it
a movie? I guess.
Yeah,
is
yeah,
it a
yeah.
movie? Yeah,
It's a film.
And as games evolve, will we ever go back to like having like a young Link and an older Link? I feel like for now, I think we're forever almost stuck in like adult Link.
Yeah,
because we haven't seen a young Link.
You could argue that a Link Between Worlds was young Link, I guess, and I think lore wise, Link's Awakening is young Link as well. But as far as new 3D games, yeah, you haven't seen a young Link since Wind Waker.
Yeah, I would. It's just something that like you kind of sit and you think like, what kind of things could they keep the same or change in another game of like, the narrative.
I'm interested in seeing how they change like Kakariko Village, right? Like Kakariko Village has had so many different iterations, even especially if you include like Windfall Island, right, which is Kakariko Village, but
I never really thought about that.
Oh, the music is even like, if you listen to the music from Windfall Island, it is the Kakariko theme, just like heavily like iterated on.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah. So, but there's a lot of like, things that remain the same, right? Like you have to save the chickens and stuff like that.
Oh, but that's true. I forget about like side quests that have been heavily like kind of continued throughout.
Yeah, but Kakariko, in the world of Breath of the Wild, had a lot more like Japanese influences on it. And I'm going to be interested if the show goes that route or if it's going to go more of like a more Western medieval feel. So I'm very interested in all that. Like, how's that going to evolve?
Speaking of freaking picking up chickens, it makes me miss like farming the empty bottles in Ocarina of Time. Like, man, the more bottles you had, the more fairies. Like, that's another thing. Like, how are we gonna do fairies? Like, are we gonna have fairies? Are y'all gonna CGI in little like a Link? Like, is he gonna die in the middle of the freaking movie and then he's got like a fairy in a bottle? Like, have you played Ooh, I gotta be careful how I say this. I think it's old enough that people shouldn't be mad, but warning for those of you who have played the newest God of War.
No, I've not played. I'm a Nintendo dude. I don't play a lot of outside of Nintendo.
Okay, so the newest God of War game. You okay?
Is that Ragnarok? Or?
Yes. You okay if I spoil something real quick? Okay. For those of you who haven't played or maybe you're in the middle of it, I would stop listening for a second because I'm gonna tell you a bit about it. I have never played, but I watched my husband play. And in the middle of the game, there's a fight sequence, okay, where you're fighting, and I cannot recall who it is that you're fighting. It's one of like big bat. Is it Thor? I think it's technically Thor that you're fighting. And I guess yeah, because that's the whole point. So what happens is he kills you in the game. It says game, like it shows as if you died. And then you hear him in the background go, "Oh no, I'm not done with you yet." And he brings you back to life.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it was like I remember my husband like that was the craziest, coolest fucking thing I've ever seen. It is watching like if you go to YouTube and you watch the reactions, like it's a great fucking reaction because it was such a good thing.
I think I've seen clips of that before.
So like, what if they just Link in the middle of the movie?
I mean,
fucking
that's very tropey, right? Of like you kill the character.
Hey,
and then
listen,
like,
if we're gonna do it, I'm all for it. Make it fucking corny then. Give me all the things that real Zelda players would know.
Well, I imagine the way that they'll incorporate fairies into that movie is like you'll just have a shot and it's going to show like flowers and you're going to see just like a fairy fly through it or something like that, right? And then maybe it'll have him like died again and then the fairies come and bring him back to life and he's Super Saiyan Link and it's going to be that. It's going to be great.
One more on the topic of like things changing. Do you think this is going to bring up a touchy topic for Alex and I of
no.
But do you think in the movie or any games moving forward, I don't think the games, maybe the movie, we'll see what happens, that they'll touch on any of the gender narratives? So obviously we have a problem with the last Zelda being how horribly they
we don't
Zelda wrong at the end of this game, and I don't think it's going to change. I think like the damsel in distress will always be the gimmick.
Maybe I could see a world where Hollywood producers say, "Hey, you can't do that to women in movies." And, I genuinely think that could be the case because I think that would be a hard sell to be like, "Hey, we're gonna make the princess be captured, and then she's not gonna do anything all movie." But like they're revealing her so early. It makes me think that she's going to have a pretty significant role. And if she has a significant role in the movies, that's better than almost any of the games. Yeah. Except for like Spirit Tracks and Echoes of Wisdom. And maybe you could argue that Skyward Sword as well.
Yeah. I don't, again, it starts to teeter of like playing with fire for me of like, there is a part where I wouldn't mind like a split view almost, like where you get to see Zelda and Sheik like planning in the background and making Zelda a bit more of like a real character of like, oh, we're realizing Ganon, especially if like you're thinking of like the Ocarina of Time like timeline.
Yeah.
So by the time you get to the castle, Zelda's already figured it out. You know, she's like, I know who this is. He's evil, blah, blah, blah. So I wouldn't mind like a split timeline of like seeing her and like she kind of figure it out. But I think like it's going to be hard for me to buy into like Like Zelda can't just go freaking get on the back of the horse with Link. Like that kind of defeats the purpose of the whole fucking game.
I think Sheik is a great example of how you could do it though, right? You could have Sheik be this mysterious companion character that's has a dynamic with Link, and then
that would be cool.
And then he realizes that it's the princess, right? That would work well in a movie.
As a kid, my fucking mind
blown.
Had no idea. Thought it was the coolest thing ever.
Especially like Ocarina of Time, if I remember correctly, the dialogue actually like refers to Sheik as male.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they very much downplay that.
Mm-hmm. Kind of as like we've kind of just touched on so much random Zelda things and just kind of like started through some of the beginning phases and very clunkily as we do here, shifted our way kind of down to like a bit of like the movie and what we've seen progress of Zelda. I will never forget the first time. I've never done cosplay, have never cared to cosplay.
Yeah.
But 12-year-old Lizzie seeing Twilight Princess Zelda with her hood. I was like, yep, there it is. That's what I would love to do. So if I had to cosplay one character from Zelda, it would probably be, I don't know, I'm back and forth. It's either Dark Zelda when she's all hooded.
Yeah.
Or when you see Minda become like the princess that she is, like human formed.
Sure.
Badass looking. Minda.
See that. It'd
be dope.
Yeah.
And now I ask you, if you had to pick one, okay, maybe two since I gave two, who would you be?
Where am I cosplaying?
I don't know. In your house.
In my house?
I don't know. You're going to a convention.
Okay. Then I'd be Tingle.
That would be, oh my God.
I'd be a goofy little guy. I'd be running around dressed as Tingle.
Okay, but if
I'm
it
also
changes.
the same age as Tingle in the games.
So I'm true. Does it change depending on where you are?
Well, I don't want to go around in like a green morph suit and like pointy hat, dressed like a weird fairy. Like,
okay, you're going to a convention.
If I'm going to a convention, I think Tingle would be a lot of fun.
Okay, so it still does stay the same. Okay.
Yeah, because I think you can get into some shenanigans,
and then just maybe be like, just Tingle.
I'm just Tingle, throw some glitter in the air and run away.
What if they bring back Tingle, guys? Okay, you haven't seen Tingle since.
If Tingle is in the Zelda movie, it's getting a 5 stars on Letterboxd. I don't care what else happens. Okay.
Seriously, Wind Waker. That was the last time we saw Tingle. You could find him up in a
jail
tree thing. Yeah, I just remember in
You had to save him from jail.
Is that what it was? He was in jail.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, don't remember that. I remember in
wasn't there also like a Wii game? Wasn't he like
he was in Majora's Mask and you could play actually I think was he also
was he involved in Link's crossbow training?
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe.
Am I thinking maybe it's not in Majora's Mask? It's actually in Wind Waker that you could hook it up to the DS to the Game Boy Advance. Yep. And it had like a little Yeah. I never really used it, but I remember thinking it was so cool that you had like 2 different game systems kind of firing off at the same time.
Yeah. They also had that for the Four Swords Adventures on the GameCube.
We got to get to gaming together sometime soon. I know we talk about it a lot.
I know.
My year is about to get so crazy. We just have so much going on.
Well, we'll chat because we'll chat.
Yeah. But so yeah, kind of a elongated, clunky, Zelda breakdown of just like a little bit of everything. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
I think this episode is a great, tunnel vision into how mine and your brains work.
Yep.
As far as like they go in 6 directions.
Mm-hmm.
And we get there, but really we had 3 bullet points and 4 bullet points, and we're just like, we're not going to go chronologically here. We're going to go in brain order.
Yeah, it's it's kind of one of those things that you guys either love it or hate it, and I hope you guys love it, but that's just kind of, When Lup has his YouTube video, I guarantee it will be way more.
Yeah, because I'm writing it.
Yeah, that too.
I'm writing it down. So
Linear.
I can, if I'm like, oh yeah, that thing makes sense here, and I'm going game by game.
I do
So I'm
love that. We
starting
didn't
with
have
the
enough time
NES
for
game.
that. I wanted kind of an overarching, like let's just kind of hit on some interesting things that we've seen over the years.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hope you guys love it. I think I love the beauty of it being clunky. You guys could love it or hate it. I don't know.
Mhm.
But we appreciate you guys. We will see you guys next time. Find us on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, and we will see you guys in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye.